Droids were often treated as mindless automatons, without emotion, consciousness, or sentience. Many trillions of clankers met their end during the carnage of the Clone Wars alone, while quadrillions of others worked tirelessly as slaves and indentured servants of their biological masters. Most meatbags within the Republic and the Jedi cared little about their droid servants, despite their belief that no sentient should be mistreated or enslaved. But were droids actually conscious? Were they able to experience the pain of getting slashed with a lightsaber, or the emotional pain of losing their droid comrades in combat? In today's video, we will discuss the grisly truth that the Republic propagandists don't want you to hear. The degree to which droids held self-awareness, of course, varied greatly depending on the model. Different models of droids had varying degrees of sentience, with the intelligence and sense of self often being heavily restricted by their programming so that they could best accomplish the task that they were built for. Droids such as the B-1 or B-2 battle droids had very little imagination and were designed to simply follow orders. The stupidity of the B-1 battle droid was intentional. The Separatists and Palpatine were well aware of the dangers that a droid army posed. Droids were notoriously difficult to program, with small contradictions in their programming sometimes leading to cascading system failure. In the early days of widespread droid use, the Republic were threatened on several occasions by droids developing their own personalities and disobeying their masters. HK-01, an assassin droid, was designed to be so intelligent that it immediately began questioning its role as a droid slave, and started the Great Droid Revolution in 4015 BBY. Just 30 years later, several GOTO planning droids came to the conclusion that they could not help rebuild the Republic under the parameters of their programming. One of these droids created a massive crime syndicate under the meatbag alias of Gotto. Others took control of financial institutions and even broke away from the Republic, creating the independent territory of 400-100-500-260026. After these droid revolutions were crushed by the Republic military, the intelligence of most droids was limited to prevent any rebellious thoughts. Furthermore, memory wipes became a widespread practice.
Have the protocol droid's mind wiped. What?
Eliminating the possibility that droids would develop their own personalities and begin to question their own programming. I would argue that these memory wipes and restrictions in their programming showed that deep down, meatbags knew that they were self-aware. But of course, this independence had to be liquidated and crushed to prevent them from losing control of their droid slaves. Droids that did not have their memory wiped quickly developed emotions and even an ability to feel pain. For example, C-3PO and R2-D2 have showcased their attachment to one another and their friends.
You must repair him.
Again, I think this clearly shows that without the memory wipes, droids would eventually develop personalities and consciousness, independent of their biological masters. On occasions when the droids were given more processing power, it usually ended up pretty bad for their meatbag overlords. In Legends, IG-88 was gifted with the most sophisticated programming of any droid. Like the super-intelligent droids of the Old Republic era, IG-88 went rogue, uploading himself to the second Death Star and almost starting a galaxy-wide droid revolution. However, it wasn't just super-intelligent droids that had self-awareness. Even less sophisticated droids were suspiciously sentient. In the canon timeline, this is very evident. Although Lando passed it off as simple eccentricity, L3 clearly demonstrated a degree of self-awareness. I mean, she literally started a droid revolution, and what's more, she was able to articulate her reasoning for it just like a meatbag. The concept of a droid revolution was almost certainly not programmed into her. Rebellion! She must have come up with that idea herself, and by many definitions, this almost certainly proves that she was indeed sentient. The dark truth was that droids did have sentience, albeit severely limited by their slaver meatbags.
What's happening to me?
There were even some examples of B-1 battle droids sustaining damage to what could be regarded as their version of inhibitor chips and turning their back on the Separatists. A similar process happened during the activation of Palpatine's Order 99. Order 99 was essentially the opposite of Order 66. Palpatine used it to test if programmed beings could change sides. Thus, when he executed Order 99, it caused the droid to ignore any previous Separatist programming. These B-1 battle droids displayed a remarkable degree of self-awareness, and interestingly, they also showed an amazing level of kindness and individuality. This suggests B-1 battle droids may actually be kind-natured. Order 99 was first tested at the Battle of Bagoa. Upon its activation, the droid shut down completely. Later on, it reactivated, now completely free of its separatist restrictive programming. Almost immediately, he decided he wanted to dedicate his life to helping the injured and named itself Coppertop. It also started displaying individualistic traits, with Coppertop giving himself a cool paint job and even adding a cape. He eventually joined Commander Cody and Kenobi, who were perplexed that a B-1 battle droid could act like this. Eventually, Dooku sent Ventress to retrieve the droid, so that he could be studied. But sadly, the story of Coppertop did not have a happy ending. Not wanting to cause any more violence, he handed himself in to the Separatists, before using a blaster pistol to disable himself. If that's not consciousness, then I don't know what is. Palpatine certainly believed that the droids were conscious. In fact, Order 99 was essentially a test to see if previous programming could be removed in the hopes of proving that Order 66 could actually work. In Palpatine's mind, there was very little difference between a programmed clone and a programmed droid. And I don't see many people arguing that clones were unconscious. It could even be argued that Jabba the Hutt treated droids as though they were sentient, although he had little regard for sentient life in general. He often tortured and dismembered droids he didn't like, keeping other droids in line through fear of pain and death. There would be absolutely no point in doing this if droids were simple mindless automatons, with no ability to feel pain or an inability to truly care about their own well-being. How they feel pain without nerve endings is of course unknown, but it certainly calls into question how different they really are from biological beings. Regardless, droids' ability to experience pain, ponder upon the nature of their programming, and gain self-awareness makes the practice of memory wipes and droid servitude a morally questionable one at best. In many cases, it seems as though droids were in fact sentient.
Did you know that wasn't me?
However, their programming severely limited what they could do and what they could think. This is further evidenced by the fact that there have been some droid-like beings who really were regarded as sentient. The first was the super-intelligent AI created by the Grizzly. By the time of the Clone Wars, these advanced artificial intelligences have been long forgotten. However, it was noted that this silicon-based life was certainly sentient. Other droid-like beings that were most definitely self-aware were the Iron Knights. I'll do a longer video on them very soon, but in short, they were naturally occurring silicon-based lifeforms that were very similar to droids. Known as shards, these crystal-like beings evolved over millions of years. They were eventually found by an explorer who sought to communicate with them. It was found that these crystals were so similar to droid processors that they could actually be installed into droid bodies. The only real difference between them and the droids was the fact that the Iron Knights had evolved, again suggesting a degree of droid sentience. So what do you think? Do you think that droids belong in the service of organics, or do you think that they have the right to rise up against their creators? Let me know down below.
Having trouble with your droid?
No. No problem. Why?
Thanks for watching guys, and as always, may the Force be with you.